Infinity Force is available now. But who is Ken the Eagle, and what is Gatchaman? This video will cover the original 1972 Gatchaman, its sequel Gatchaman 2, and its finale Gatchaman F, or Gatchaman Fighter. You might be familiar with these shows if you heard of Battle of the Planets, G-Force, Eagle Riders, and Gatchaman Crowds. What I'll be talking about are the original Japanese series which are now available from Sentai Filmworks. The previously mentioned titles such as Battle of the Planets are the English dub versions which differ greatly from the source material. It's similar to how Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is different from the original footage and story of Zyuranger. In 2005, ADV Films managed to dub the very first Gatchaman series in its entirety, therefore being the most accurate English dub to the Japanese version. Gatchaman 2 and Fighter were released in subtitled-only format in 2017 as a celebration of Tatsunoko's 55th anniversary. Gatchaman Crowds is not directly tied to the original Gatchaman, with the exception of certain name drops, but its few similarities and ideas are so distant from the rest that it really shouldn't be part of the Gatchaman pedigree. The following content will be mostly my personal interest with the series, and is it worth watching this old anime of 205 episodes? So if you're curious about watching this superhero anime, then I suggest you stick around. Contrary to popular belief, these aren't the only superhero titles. There's about 50 superhero anime such as the upcoming Mazinger Z movie, Devilman Crybaby, Garo Vanishing Line, and naughty classics such as Hentai Kamen, Don't Meddle With My Daughter, and of course, Great Man! But back in 1972, Gatchaman along with other 70 superheroes would form Tatsunoko's lineup as featured in Tatsunoko vs Capcom and the crossover Infinity Force. Gatchaman is an important piece for the Japanese superhero industry, as most of its content can be seen in works of tokusatsu and especially in Super Sentai series such as Jetman. Shojin Sentai Jetman! While this anime series did air with various edited versions such as the mentioned Battle of the Planets, G-Force, and Saban's Eagle Riders, but I never saw that when I was growing up. I'm certain there's people who must have watched this show, but I just want to clarify that I'm much younger. I'm currently 26 as of this edit date, so my first exposure to this show was in 2017, so there won't be any nostalgia bias with my opinions. Within 4 months, I was able to cover all of Gatchaman, even Crowds, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, I love this show. It challenges my favoritism for my #1 anime being Fist of the North Star. Currently, Gatchaman is my #1 favorite superhero anime, with Kinnikuman being the second. After completing Gatchaman, Gatchaman 2, and Gatchaman Fighter, a thought occurred to my head. This is the #1 superhero anime. I truly believe this show achieved heroism I'd never seen before. To be fair, I still haven't finished every single superhero anime, especially the ones that aren't licensed and very difficult to find, but from the 30 plus series I was able to experience, Gatchaman really sticks out as one of the best, especially for its debut in the 1970s. And upon my viewing in 2017, the show still holds up. To me, watching an old anime is like finding a locked treasure chest, and if that show becomes a favorite, then this chest has been unlocked with many treasures still inside. That's how I felt with Gatchaman. I don't think there's anything like it.
You've given it your all but still failed, I wouldn't say anything. But what happened here? There's no excuse for being late. You cannot let personal problems interfere with your duty. We have been entrusted to protect the peace of the entire world.
Won't you even try to understand what happened with us?
I don't want excuses, I want accountability.
What's all this we anyway? What's your part? Galactor has shown up. Deploy immediately. Galactor is attacked. Go! Go! You just give the orders. We're the ones who have to carry them out. We're not robots. We're people with lives and problems and real flesh and blood.
Ken, please stop.
The ending reminded me of Power Rangers in Space. If you've seen that final episode, then you know how it's a fitting conclusion for the Mighty Morphin series. Gatchaman Fighter gave me that very same satisfaction. Waging a very long war against evil, the Science Ninja team finally succeeded after losing so many lives, yet it ends on such a bittersweet hope. I kinda wish there was a 4th part which would make more sense now given its age, a modern sequel picking up where the 3rd series left off. being able to witness their next adventure on Earth, or maybe some unknown galaxy where evil continues to thrive. Let me rewind a bit since I'm talking about this show without even telling you what's it about. So the story is very akin to what you see in Power Rangers and other Sentai and Tokusatsu shows, especially when this anime predates most of them. Gatchaman is about the Science Ninja team comprising of 5 members: Ken the Eagle, Joe the Condor, Jun the Swan, Jinpei the Swallow, and Ryu the Owl. And they are helped with Dr. Nambu, Red Impulse, and later Dr. Pandora, Dr. Raphael, and a mechanic in Part 3 whose name escapes me. The villains are the terrorist organization Galactor, which are later revealed to be led by an alien named Leader X, and in its final series, Leader Z. There's no Leader Y. The leaders would have these avatars, a second-in-command, heralds, generals, whatever you want to call them, which would act on their behalf, being Berkatse, Gelsadra, and Ego Bossler. Each of these shows are divided by these villains: Berkatse for Part 1, Gelsadra for Part 2, and Ego Bossler for Part 3. The anime is episodic but gradually becomes more serious and very reliant on continuity. For a while, most of the episodes would get resolved in a single story, but after a certain point, Gatchaman starts improving and learning from its mistakes, which increases the danger. Secret identities being exposed is a good example of that, and the more you watch, the more you'll notice similarities to Power Rangers, which might be a pure coincidence since my only exposure has been the Saban versions. I never seen the original Japanese Sentai. In Gatchaman, you get moments such as the base being attacked, their mechas getting destroyed, a team member losing their powers and has to fight without them, new villains keep showing up, and many more things that occur in superhero stories. The threats in this show even reach apocalyptic settings, especially in Fighter. The amount of death and damage Galactor has done to humanity is what makes them more like intergalactic terrorists rather than just a mere supervillain organization. Even the dub starts referring them as terrorists. The show starts very simple and kind of campy, but it just keeps getting better. Even with the first episode, you can tell these heroes are out for blood, as they won't hesitate to kill bad guys and resort to on-screen violence. Most enemies would be Iron Beast mechas, and the Gatchaman would have to come up with a clever plan to take them out and rescue the hostages. Granted, this anime will take a lot of patience before you get into the groove of things. I mean, this is an anime with 205 episodes, but like I said before, if you like what you saw, then you found treasure. Admittedly, some episodes in the first series aren't too important and exist simply for the weekly action quota, but after episode 50, the series has changed into something more ambitious.
But why, Ken? Why do I always get left behind while you guys fight?
Well, it's because we're orphans. If we die, there's no one who'd shed tears. But you've got a mother, father, and little brother back home. No matter what, you've got to stay alive for them. Never forget that!
The characters that get the most attention are Ken the Eagle and Joe the Condor, who have both made it in my top 5 favorite anime characters. Ken and Joe didn't get along at first, but their friendship gradually grew in the first series and becomes a permanent partnership by the ending. Most of Part 1 is about Ken dealing with his father issues and maturing to be a full-fledged leader. While he is a noble superhero, he does keep a lot of rage. In the early episodes, he's clearly not a perfect man to lead the team. It's not until Part 2 and Part 3 where he truly becomes Gatchaman. Joe the Condor doesn't have much focus in the first series until the last few episodes. He gets to really shine in the sequel anime Gatchaman 2. The entire show is fixated on a certain mystery involving Joe the Condor and Dr. Raphael. Once Joe's secret is revealed, we discover he's no longer the same man from before. We encounter a very determined, self-sacrificing superhero, which overshadowed Ken's role. Acting as a compromise, Gatchaman 3 or Gatchaman Fighter gives Ken the Eagle more of a focus, showing his mastery as a leader. Meanwhile, Joe acts as his most trusted ally. There would be episodes where these two superheroes would give it their all, hogging the attention away from the rest of the team. This is noticeable in Fighter's finale, where both of them would sacrifice their lives for each other. The very end teases a fight between the two, but it doesn't happen. Granted, in that situation, it'd be really stupid to have a fight when Earth is in mortal danger, but it just made me wish the characters did fight a little. Their cooperation with each other is probably the most respected friendship I've seen in anime thus far. There's been other best buddies, but something about these two go against some expectations. It's not the shonen rivalry people may think, but it's certainly one that transcended simple dislikes of each other. It's a genuine friendship where they can't afford to lose. They learn from each other's faults and strengths, and together, they are superheroes. Maybe this is the best superhero friendship. A justice friendship. No, a gacha manly friendship. The other characters could use some more episodes, which is why a fourth part could help fix those problems. They each have their own qualities, but they don't have the same growth or dramatic episodes as Ken and Joe. I like them, but I want to really like them. Ken and Joe have so many emotional scenes, whether it was people dying in battle or just thinking about the family they want. The remaining members who have opportunities for those types of stories, but it's never really followed up into something greater. June the Swan should have more to do. She's plenty capable of doing things on her own, especially when she has a lot of brains in both technology, explosives, and being a mother figure to Jinpei. I wanted to see more of her in action roles and not just be used for emotional content. Jinpei does have a lot of screen time, but I noticed he got less attention in the sequels. I think a fourth part could allow this kid to grow, not just mentally but physically too. There was an episode in Gatchaman 2 which implied a maturity, but for the most part, he still acts like a kid, so it didn't feel like he really learned anything. Jinpei has shown some maturity, but I do want to see him fully realized as an adult. Ryu the Owl has the least amount of focus. In early episodes, he didn't leave a good impression. He does have an important duty as a pilot, but a lot of scenes depict him as lazy, and sometimes too ineffective, which could jeopardize a rescue operation. His better episodes usually stem from family problems, which oddly didn't make an appearance in the Fighter series. Ryu's solo episodes were definitely good, but I wish they showed this guy a little more active, but able to retain his laid-back demeanor. Basically, I want more Ryu moments similar to the Gatchaman F episode, where he took care of a little girl and acted like a big brother. Dr. Nambu acts as the father figure of the team, usually seen giving orders or helping resolve a problem involving science. However, Dr. Nambu's best achievements would be seen in the finale of Gatchaman F, and would be ignored in Gatchaman 2 in favor of Dr. Pandora and Dr. Raphael. She was a great character, but there needed to be a better compromise between the two during the second series, as Pandora's connection to the villain Gelsaldra made up most of the emotional package of Gatchaman 2. Meanwhile, Nambu will provide guidance, discipline, and acts as the man who made all the difficult decisions, while mentoring Ken to possibly follow in his footsteps alongside Red Impulse. Dr. Nambu will leave an impression, especially by Gatchaman F, because, I was not ready for this. Other supporters of the Science Ninja team would be Red Impulse and Dr. Raphael, but honestly, the less I say about them, the better the surprise. And the mechanic of Part 3, he was kinda forgettable to me, I'm sorry. The villains of Galactor are very threatening, especially in Gatchaman Fighter, such as bombing a funeral. I mean, that's fucked up. While they can be very campy, they are a dangerous organization which gradually became more competent as the series continued. Galactor is definitely worthy of the title terrorist given their high body count and apocalyptic schemes. Each of the three sub-leaders do have a secret origin which adds a touch of humanity to their conquest or destruction of the Earth. And the way these guys go out... I was not ready for this. Maybe even the darkest monsters of villainy have a soft side. While other superhero anime do exist, Gatchaman is a superhero story in its purest form. It's campy, ridiculous, flashy, over the top, adventurous, exciting, but it also carries grief, fear, sorrow, determination, love, and even hope.
Just win this war!
The battle was over, but Gatchaman and the others were now acutely aware of how people were being sacrificed in the name of justice because of their fight. They felt their hearts clench as they realized anew the gravity of their mission.
Within the face of death, they vow to die together, but until then, they'll continue fighting for everlasting peace. Sometimes they are 5, sometimes only 1. They are the mysterious white shadow that steals close to its prey, the Science Ninja Team Gatchaman. I pray for their success.